Hello, and welcome to our conversation. I am Autumn King. I'm a public information officer with the City Administrator's Office, and we are talking today to Tyehimba Jelani. He is in the IT department here with the City of Oakland, and we're going to have a great conversation about working from home. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Talk to us. Tell us who you are, where you work, and what's on your plate today.
Okay. All right. Well, good. Like as you said, I am Tyehimba Jelani. I am the supervisor of the help desk in the information technology department. I've been with the city 15 years, actually. I made 15 this year. So I initially started in the city clerk's office and migrated to IT. And here I am now, supervising the help desk. There's a staff of 3. So Charles White, Shari Gaiden Facetti, and Raul Lucha. So those are the folks that really keep the wheel turning for the help desk. And they make me look good, and then I try to jump in and help them out as much as I can. So glad to be here. Thank you, Autumn, for inviting me to participate in this call.
Well, one of the reasons why, so as we talked about how we were going to put this show together and what would be going on, we wanted to get a feel for what's happening with city employees during the shelter in place. The city hasn't stopped. Fires don't stop. Crime doesn't stop. Garbage still needs to be picked up. Payroll still needs to go through. So there's a lot that goes on within the city. So many employees were sent home and were asked to work from home, you being one of them. And so this is what this show is about, is having conversation to figure out, what does that look like? How have you continued to keep the wheels moving while you're at home? And I will say, I have to plug this for you. The reason why you came top of mind to me is because you've been amazing in helping out. I mean, again, you just now mentioned that you guys have a small team of 3, and it's a mighty team. You guys have really had to step up your game to help people as they transition to being at home. So talk to us a little bit about the transition from taking care of folks in the plaza and on site versus at home.
Well, so I'm in a unique position being a part of the IT team because we touch everything one way or the other. It seems like it all has to come through us. So when the decision was made to go shelter in place, we weren't ready. We weren't ready as a city, as a department. It's just, there were a lot of infrastructure changes that had to be made fast in order for us to even enable people to work from home. So that's one challenge, So shout out to my ITD, colleagues under the leadership of Pete Peterson. We made a lot happen in a very, very short period of time. And it wasn't easy, but I think it's just a testament to the dedication of the staff, which is no different than the dedication across any of the other departments in the city. So one piece was technically being able to make it happen. So most of us stayed at work while the shelter in place was going on, just trying to do what it took to make the shelter in place happen. And then the second piece of it is, okay, now we've set up the infrastructure. We have these new tools and applications, software that we're introducing to city staff persons who've never had to do this before. So now there's the learning curve on top of it. And since we move so fast, we're learning the applications as we're trying to teach the applications to the staff person. So, it took a lot of patience, I think, on everybody's part. Hopefully we did our best and people were satisfied with it. But, there's just always some challenges in trying to get this done. So with that said, it was just, that was the hard part, is now we have it and we have to get our users up to speed with how to use it. Okay, there's checking email from Office 365. A lot of folks had not even used Office 365 as an option to check the mail via the web. So that's one conversation. Then there's okay, I need to get onto the city network. Right. I need Global Protect. What is Global Protect? It's like a foreign language. You want me to do what? So, and then there's, now I need to get to my desktop computer. All of that was so foreign to everyone. So challenge that put on the help desk was our call time, our troubleshooting time, being on the phone with users increased significantly. And we still hear, I still hear the complaints. Oh, I call the help desk and I'm on hold, da 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 da. Well, again, everybody's learning these tools, and a call that may have taken us 15 minutes when someone was in the office, or we may have been able to hand that off to our next tier of desktop people to go to the person's desk and resolve the issue. We can't do that anymore. So now we have to be committed to making sure that user can get that work done while they are working remotely, because there is no technician to come out to their home and get the job done. So I just say that to say, please be patient with us, as though the whole time is increasing. It's just a part of the process.
You're very much appreciative of who you are and what you're doing for all of us. So thank you to you and your team as you guys move forward with it. Yeah. Tell us a little bit, because I hear what you're saying about time constraints. Mm-hmm. I hear what you're saying about how things have had to change and ramp up the teaching side of things. Tell me a little bit about a day in your life when you were in the plaza and working out of your building, out of your desk every single day. You had a little bit of a rhythm. Tell us how that rhythm has changed, or if it's changed, and what you've done to accommodate since moving all your operations at home, specifically for you and how you work.
Well, it's definitely changed in that now I have to take advantage of these virtual meetings alone have changed the game completely. So one of the things that I led up was the effort to get Teams, the Microsoft Teams training out, and make sure everyone was more up to speed with how to participate and host these virtual meetings. So every day now, this is something we're doing differently at the help desk. We have standing meetings at 8:15 a.m. every day virtually to talk about what happened yesterday, to talk about, what may happen today, just constantly covering issues and topics that come up because things are happening so much faster, and we're not in the office to see each other every day. So now I have to, stand in contact with the staff looks a little different. So for me, again, we start our standing meetings at 8:15. By 9 o'clock, I'm checking help desk voicemails and responding to calls in an effort just to take some of the load off of my staff person. So I spend the first hour and a half, calling back customers, just to see what the relevant issues are. Mm-hmm. And from there, it's on to just standard virtual type meetings. I'm meeting with other individuals in the department. I have special projects that I'm working on, a variety of them. I don't want to bore you with the details, but it's focusing on those projects, having meetings, doing follow-up. So fortunately, much, if not all of the work that I was doing in the office can be done from home. So it's enabled me specifically to keep going, and not have any real glitches in the process, So that's a day in the life for me. And again, responding to emails, addressing help desk tickets. So my hands are in quite a bit, just because, again, so much comes through the help desk. We really are the voice of IT, with that first responders in that case, if you will. So I'm just, trying to stay connected, make sure I'm connected to my staff. They keep me abreast of any issues that need to be escalated. And then from there, I'm talking to the supervisors and managers of other areas, just making sure, doing my part to try to make sure we're all on the same page. And I think that's probably one of the biggest things, is because, you can't just get up out of your seat, and go to the office next door. It makes it a little harder to keep that synchronization, if you will, and to keep that communication going. But again, here we have the cell phones, we have Teams. There's just other ways that we take advantage, or I take advantage of being able to reach people pretty quickly.
And as I've said, I really do believe that you guys have stayed on top of it in a very supportive way. I've heard from other staff members that they've reached out to help desk and immediately they get a response and they have people calling them back. I know that I've worked with you and sat on the phone for 35, 40 minutes trying to troubleshoot and get things done. Much appreciative. Are there any challenges that you've seen or that your team has seen with people whose jobs, so your job is IT, so you're connected and you're, you know, that by definition almost it's about being in a different place and connecting with another place, right? What have you seen, if anything, in challenges for those whose work is not 100% online based,
Right.
but now has to be online based? Are there new systems, new programs, or what is new that you've put in, if anything, to address that void, if you will, or that not a void, a change, if you will?
So one of the, again, Teams is new for everybody for the most part.
I had a little bit of trouble with Teams at first, but now it's one of my good friends. I'm not gonna say my best friend, but one of my very good friends at this point.
Global Protect is new. Adobe Sign is new. I know you, right. There we go. Yes, smiles, clap. People are so happy to finally be able to send documents over electronically.
Yep.
It took a pandemic, but we are absolutely able to, you know, get an electronic signature and keep the workflow going. So I think we should have people on our website saying thank you for finally getting this done. But that's one thing.
That has been a very, very, very big thing.
Yeah. So that's just an example. But again, it's really all comes back to the learning curve, because sometimes it's not working as smoothly as we thought it would out the gate, or we, you know, run into some problems that we didn't foresee. And now, again, we're just trying to, you know, pivot very quickly and get, you know, whatever system or application it is up and running, or at least interfacing with the user in a way that lets them know, hey, we're working on it. Or we just spend more time. And to me, that's just what it's come down to, is we've had to spend more time trying to, you know, educate and inform, encourage users to be a bit more proactive about taking advantage of the tools that are out there. You know, that's the other thing. It's like, yeah, we may have been doing business one way for, you know, 25 years since you've been here, but a lot has changed in this environment.
Yes.
You know, so when we put the message out to say, and even citywide training, we put the message out and say, hey, here's a Microsoft Excel training class or a Word training class, or, you know, whatever the case may be. I think it's just incumbent upon city staff to also take the initiative to learn about some of these tools before they necessarily have to use them. Because it's hard doing it when you have a deadline in front of you and you spent no time and someone is trying to explain to you, press this button, click this, and, you know, it can be overwhelming. So
what I'm hearing from you is part of the shift that you're seeing is one that I've seen in being more human, the human touch.
Right.
So even though we're further apart from one
right,
another,
ironically, yes.
Right. So the viewers didn't get to see this, but when you and I first logged on, it was like a celebration, because we have literally, Tyehimba, Autumn King and Tyehimba Jelani have never laid eyes on one another. And we've been working together for a couple of years now and talked on the phone and shared emails. So in one sense, the shelter in place has brought people closer together. And it added that human touch to things. And kind of, I think that's the positive. It's that it's kind of shifted the way that we think, and we're having to be innovative and or pick up tools that were already at our disposal that we weren't ready to use before. And so now we're expanding our brains, we're expanding our mind, you know, our beings to be able to take in more information. So I appreciate that. I think that that's something great that I've seen as well, is the human side of being sheltered away from one another.
Yeah, and again, the irony of it all, because, you know, again, we're in the middle of a pandemic. It's been tough on a lot of people, you know, so I certainly want to take a minute to acknowledge those who, you know, may not be doing well or have done well through this time. But in addition, it's been a reset for a lot of us. And I think it's made us really look at what's important, who's important, and prioritizing, trying to, you know, maintain some and develop some of those relationships. So this is yet another situation like, okay, yeah, we're social distancing, but somehow we are also getting closer in ways, so I think that's a good thing. Very, very positive.
And, you know, being in communications, for me, verbiage is a big deal. So early on, when SIP first hit, there was a shift. We changed the conversation. I think it was through the state, or it might have been Alameda County, from social distancing to physical distancing, because we have
Okay,
not
okay.
socially distanced.
Gotcha.
We're seeing that the social aspects are still very viable and very, very much alive in certain situations.
Okay,
I
all right.
appreciate definitely you segued for me. I appreciate you acknowledging that it's not been easy for everyone, and it's not been easy for everyone on a regular basis. There are some days that are harder for some of us than others.
Yeah.
I think we all have our good days and bad days.
Right.
As we're starting to wrap up our conversation, can you share with us some things that have brought you joy, or maybe an obstacle that you overcame to help you continue to do your work, or some kind of, light at the tunnel, acknowledging that there was some darkness there?
Right. Well, so let me say this first, because I think there's a misconception. At least I was under this misconception. There was a part of me that thought, okay, if I'm working from home, I don't know, it may not be so bad.
I might just be chilling outside.
Right. I might just be in the backyard, sunning and funning.
Working in my backyard. Okay? Thank you very much, sir.
Yes. I know. I'm just being funny. But it has not been like that, generally speaking. Everyone that I've talked to who's working from home says they work more hours. The days run into each other, so it's like a retired person. What's today? Is it Wednesday? Is it Thursday? Less breaks, so it's all of these things that kind of come natural being in the office. You got somebody to talk to, you get up, you go next door, you go downstairs to the coffee shop.
Yeah.
All of those things are kind of out the window. So I find that we all find ourselves more attached to the device, sitting there longer. The good thing is it keeps the work going, but I just wanted to take a minute to say it's definitely not less work at the end of the day. At least that's not what I'm finding. So what I've done in addition, just trying to cope with the differences, and there've been 2020 just started off rough. There were a lot of deaths in the family. Fortunately, very few, succumbed to COVID, but they're deaths nonetheless, and you can't bond, you can't connect, you can't go to the funerals, just all of those things. And it was really tough this year. So I tried to do some other things just to kind of stay busy, but stay safe at the same time. So I started a garden. Now I'm feeling like my grandfather. Haven't been in a garden since I was, as they say, knee-high to a grasshopper. So it's been a long time. So I have zucchini and tomatoes and green onions, and so I'm working that piece. I bought a bike recently, so now I'm on a bicycle and getting out, and just small things like that. Just again trying to stay busy, staying safe, but still staying active in the process. So that's what it's been for me.
And you're still doing all your work.
And still getting the work done. So as long as I don't hear from Pete, I am okay. Hey, Pete.
It's so funny you say that, because I talked to Pete recently and I was like, I haven't heard from you in forever. He was like, you don't want to hear from me? So that's a good thing.
Yes.
Well, very much. You and I will have to talk more when this is over, because my garden is looking pretty good too. I'm very
proud. All right.
I got my first habaneros that grew in.
Say what?
I've got jalapenos. I've got some cilantro and mint and things going on. So we will definitely have to share some fruit and vegetables and herbs with one another.
Let's do that.
Is there anything that you miss about being in the office?
The people, you get to laugh and joke and, walk from, building to building and just see faces. Some are colleagues, people that and then there are other people that you just see so much that you just speak and you talk, even with getting on the train or, whatever public transportation may be. So that part, seeing the people I miss, being in the confined environments and everything that kind of comes with public transportation under these circumstances, you don't miss that at all. No, but absolutely, it's the co-workers. So because it's some good camaraderie at the city. So
We've got a, I will have to say, just like I'm sure with every place, there's myriad personalities and
right.
characters. I will have to say though that I very strongly feel City of Oakland has some amazing, amazing, talented, professional, intelligent, creative people. And
Mhm.
it is difficult sometimes when you don't see folks. You
Right,
realize you're
right,
saying, I miss you to your
right,
colleague. And you're like, how did
right.
this ever happen? So
Exactly.
I will say thank you to you. You are our you were the first one to jump up and say yes to this process. So thank you
Mhm.
so much for that. Thank you for sharing candidly about what it is a day in the life of an IT help
Right.
desk manager, helping us to stay connected. And very much appreciate all of your hard work for the City of Oakland. We thank you, thank you, thank you.
You are welcome.
This has been our conversation with Tyehimba Jelani with City of Oakland's IT Informational Technology Department.
Yeah.
We are so grateful to have had you chatting with us, sharing your adventures in shelter in place. And thank you sincerely for all of the amazing work that you do to keep all 5,000 employees connected to each other and to the greater Oakland community. Thank you so much.
You are welcome.